The story begins in September 1934, in the hard-scrabble neighbourhood of Kingsbury Run. It was here, near the East 49th Street Bridge, that the first victims were discovered, setting off a wave of fear and suspicion.
Shouting, "Someone help! There's something here!"
The body was found in a severely mutilated state, with the head missing and the torso cut in half. The initial police response was swift, but they were unprepared for the gruesome scene that awaited them. The severed legs were the first indication that a monstrous presence lurked in Cleveland, sending shockwaves through the community. The police were called to the scene, and an extensive investigation began involving multiple officers and detectives. Cut to a reenactment of police officers examining the crime scene, taking notes, and looking perplexed. They meticulously searched for any clues that could lead them to the perpetrator. The officers are dressed in period-appropriate uniforms, and the scene is lit by lanterns, adding to the eerie atmosphere, casting long shadows that seem to dance with the flickering light.
Gravely. This isn't an ordinary case. The brutality is unlike anything we've seen before. We need to find out who did this and why. The community is counting on us to bring justice.
The legs were identified as belonging to a young man, but his identity remained a mystery, adding another layer of complexity to the case. This was only the beginning of a series of gruesome discoveries that would haunt the city for years to come, leaving a lasting scar on its history. Leading the investigation was Detective Peter Merillo, a seasoned officer known for his tenacity. He was joined by Detective Martin Zalewski, who brought a keen eye for detail to the case. Initial theories ranged from a deranged local to a transient killer passing through the city. The brutality suggested a deeply disturbed individual. Early suspects included known criminals and individuals with a history of violence, but no solid leads emerged. The investigation was just beginning, and the pressure was mounting. Over the next few years, more dismembered bodies were found across Cleveland, often in remote and desolate areas. The killer's modus operandi was disturbingly consistent: dismemberment, decapitation, and the deliberate hiding of body parts. Many of the bodies were discovered near the Kingsbury Run area, a notorious spot for such gruesome finds. Investigators noticed a pattern in the locations, often near railroads and industrial zones. Despite the horrific nature of the crimes, the identity of the victims and the killer remained elusive. The case attracted the attention of Eliot Ness, famous for his role in taking down Al Capone. Ness was a key figure in the Prohibition era, leading the Untouchables. He was appointed as Cleveland's public safety director in 1935. Ness was brought in to restore order and tackle the rising crime rates. Eliot Ness, firmly: "We will not rest until we catch this killer. I want everyone working around the clock, no stone left unturned." Ness implemented new strategies, including increased patrols and community engagement. Despite Ness's efforts, the investigation faced numerous challenges. The elusive nature of the killer made the case particularly difficult. Cut to a montage of newspaper headlines from the 1930s, highlighting the public's fear and the media frenzy surrounding the case. Headlines read, "Torso murderer strikes again, Cleveland in fear, police baffled by serial killer." The public's fear was palpable. People were afraid to walk the streets at night, and rumours spread like wildfire. Radio broadcasts added to the hysteria, with reports of the killer's latest movements and speculations on who might be next. Police held press conferences, but their inability to catch the killer only fueled the public's anxiety. One notable headline read, "Torso murderer strikes again." This headline alone sent shockwaves through the community. Community meetings were held to discuss safety measures, but the fear remained ever present. Families took extra precautions, locking their doors and windows, hoping to keep the terror at bay. Who was the Cleveland torso murderer, the elusive figure who terrorized the city? What drove them to commit such heinous acts, leaving a trail of fear and mystery? And why were they never caught, evading justice for so long? These questions remain unanswered to this day, shrouded in the mists of time. Investigators faced numerous challenges, from lack of forensic technology to the sheer brutality of the crimes. Several theories were proposed, including the possibility of a deranged doctor or a transient worker. The impact on the community was profound, with fear and suspicion permeating daily life. The camera zooms in on the photo, revealing a black and white image of a dismembered body, a haunting reminder of the unsolved mystery. In our next episode, we will delve deeper into the lives of the victims, uncovering their stories and connections. We'll also explore new theories and recent developments that have emerged over the years. Join us as we continue to unravel the mystery of the Cleveland torso murderer, revealing new clues and insights that could bring us closer to the truth. Eerie, suspenseful music plays as the screen fades to black. The show's logo appears with somber music, and the credits roll. Thank you for watching this episode of the Cleveland Torso Murderer, a chilling mystery. Throughout this series, we've delved into the gruesome murders that terrorized Cleveland in the 1930s, explored the lives of the victims, and examined the relentless pursuit of the elusive killer. Despite the efforts of law enforcement, the identity of the Cleveland torso murderer remains a mystery to this day, leaving us with more questions than answers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Stay tuned for our next episode where we uncover another chilling mystery. See you next time.